The theater of brushing was on the brink of collapse. Even though the mountain home had stood strong for many years, they were surrounded by towers of dark evil. Fighting had ensued for dozens, if not hundreds, of generations of dwarves. Many short lives were had due to the constant battles and back and forth between the forces of undead and the forces of dwarven might and steel. But one hope remained, and that was to travel west and establish a new mountain home. It would not be easy. A new goblin threat awaited. But the dwarves could hold onto something a little bit longer. They struck west and found a true place to call home beneath the magnificent volcano of Furnace Hugs. They referred to it as a beacon of light in the darkness that had been their life up until this point. The dwarves began building in the depths of the volcano, creating many halls and waterworks with all of their tools and supplies. Armok himself would be proud, knowing the civilization once again would prosper. Given this sign, the dwarves began to strike out against the goblins and create a foothold in the west for the families to come. After a few hard years, the queen herself arrived and bestowed upon the fortress the status of mountain home. Hello everybody and welcome back to another community fortress. This is the fortress of Furnace Hugs, and it was sent in on the Discord by Klokwekz. If you'd like to send in a fortress for me to have a look at on this show, you can do that via my Discord server in the DF Save sharing room. Just simply look at what other people are doing, and I will get to it when I get to it. It's kind of a bit of a backlog, but I work through them as I need them. So, once again, just kind of take a look at what other people are doing, and I'm sure you can figure it out from that point. This fortress is a mountain home. This is the mountain home of Furnace Hugs on the volcano of Furnace Hugs, I think. I'm assuming that's the name of the volcano. But Klokwekz sent this fortress in a little bit ago, and I'm finally getting to it. So let's dive in and have a peek at it, shall we? Over here, you can see there's a lot of blood everywhere and a lot of vomit. Pretty normal stuff for the edge of a volcano, I see. And there's a road heading through here. Now, this isn't a natural road. It's not one that goes over the volcano. If we actually look at the map itself, it kind of just goes up for quite some time. I like these papaya trees. I've never actually noticed that papaya trees have such a light-colored trunk, but they go all the way up to the top here in this volcano. I personally, if I was playing with this volcano, I would have done something with the edge of this, because just look at that. Look at like the how tall it goes out. I would have done something with that. That's real neat. But all the way back down here, this is the actual entrance. So it kind of just is sort of channeled out in this kind of square fashion. So kind of just walking down and immediately you're greeted by this underground forest. There's a little bit of water harvesting going on here from the aquifer, I'm assuming. And so anyway, it kind of goes down into here. There is a barracks over here, which is currently empty, a long walkway that goes this way, and a long walkway that goes this way. So this seems to be kind of the main walkway going down into the fortress. Kind of runs this way over here to this trading area, but let's just back up and take a peek at the other walkways first. So this one kind of goes down this way over to some very suspect lava-looking things here, which requires you to walk down into here and then up and then down into here. So I'm assuming the way this works, if I had to assume, is baddies walk into here and then this gets closed and then this gets closed and then all the lava falls onto their heads and they turn into whatever the opposite of a popsicle is, a torch. And then the lava then gets flown down here. So pretty simple defensive setup. And if they make it through, then they go down into here and into this square area where I'm assuming there'd be a bunch of soldiers waiting to stab their faces with pointy sticks, I would assume. Or based on this, swords. So long knife sticks. Very good sticks, all the same. So anyway, over here we have a little well, which is where this water is going down into. It's just one layer deep, so there's probably a little bit of dirt in that, but that's fine, really. And then so we're going to follow this walkway, once again, down into the fortress. So the fortress kind of is this interesting look. It's a very, if you're looking at the mini-map, you'll see spoilers, but it's kind of a very blocky kind of look, and I quite like it. Let's unpause this and see how well this runs first. Sweet. If you take a look down here, we can actually watch some merchants leave if we want. They don't have wagons, which I think is a shame, but frame rate is fantastic on this one. If I unpause it and let it run, as you can see, we're sitting at basically 100 frames a second. Like the frame rate's fantastic. Right down here on the either side of this walkway is a little prison, which is very fancy. I mean, it's got beds and electrum tables. I wanted to say trables, but that That's not a word. So it looks very nice, very pretty, well appointed. There's a ghost. Ghost doors are still happy, so I guess the ghost isn't that big of a deal. Over here we have this little tavern, and then we have some guild halls. And then down here we have an office, which is the captain of the guard, I think. Looks like it, CA, captain. And then down here we have a little dining hall, lots of gold, and then this kind of open area. It kind of looks like a training area of sorts, but it's just got a bunch of gear in it. As we kind of move through, there's trading, plenty of stockpiles, and as I said, this one's kind of got a neat look to it. We got a little clothes shop area down here, and then some guild halls, more guild halls, an office to the mayor, the Angelic Sanctuary, which is, I guess, where you get uninjured, because it's a hospital. It is quite well stocked from what I can tell, having everything that you would need. A little water location over here for another well, and then just what I assume was an old stockpile that just hasn't been cleared out yet. Another temple, and then over here is the tavern. Oopsies, I'm scrolling down, getting ahead of myself. This little tavern is has this lovely little water setup up here that's powered quite nicely by these water wheels here. So the water wheels here are not draining anywhere, but the water is flowing through this whole kind of setup, and that is what is powering the flow of the... Why am I having such a hard time talking today? That is what is powering the flow for the water wheels. So the water wheels get a little bit of power, and the water flows off the side here, which is more than enough to power some pumps for this setup here. And of course, they probably just filled this with buckets, I would assume. So very simple little setup that works quite nicely. That's my preferred way of running sprinklers for the dwarves. We have a couple bedrooms over here, and some more temples, and another barracks with 2 squads assigned, some more guild halls, more temples, and the little library. The library, of course, is sitting here with 43 books. Nobody to copy books, but plenty of books to write. And there is no... why am I blanking on this? Writing material. Writing material desired is 11. So there is writing material, but they're not copying any books. They're just writing books. So hopefully they've written some books of their own. Let's move down a layer and zoom out a little bit. If we actually look around here, you can see that the entrance to these little bedrooms is from the lower levels. So we have to move down an additional layer to see the entrance to here. But there's several things, including a Crundle pen pasture. And there's our ghost. Someone must have died to the Crundles. Haunted Crundle Pen is kind of a good thing. Haunted Crundle Pen would be the name of my performance troupe if I was a traveling bard in this world. There's the Queen's office, or throne room. And then, of course, another office, which is currently unassigned. And down here is a little dining hall with next to these bedrooms. And Stinthad. What do you do, Stinthad? Outpost liaison, maybe? Yes, Stinthad, the outpost liaison space, and Aerith, the mayor's space, of course. So now we can move down. Oh, wow, those are gold pots. I thought that was a giant flesh ball for a second. No, it's an ale pot. Those are just, Orpiment ale pots are just very bright. So if I move down another layer, you can see more bedrooms, and then you're probably going, okay, where do they enter from? Well, over here. So they enter from over here, all the way down to here. And then this open space just kind of keeps going. So this is a multi-stacked kind of bedroom design. It looks quite nice in my opinion. I would have gone with another layer of flooring around there and put in bars or something. Made it look a little bit more secure. And then on either side, there's more bedrooms. So a very vertical kind of bedroom style. The first time I actually was looking at this for, because I always kind of scan through them all before I start recording, I completely missed this layer and was wondering where everything was in this fort, because I saw this while I was scrolling quickly, the tombs and the bedrooms, but I didn't realize that this square layer was here, so it took me a little bit to find it. Down here we have all of these tombs all set up, complete with golden statues, or brass statues, my bad. And they are dedicated to the dwarf that died, so going the extra mile there. And then down here we just have a very large quarry that is also a spiderweb field, clearly. Little minecart route coming up from underground. We're getting to some spoiler-ish territory, so if you haven't seen endgame stuff, you might want to blink now. But as you can see, we can follow these ramps down, which kind of go all the way over to here and then back up. So if we go all the way down to here, this is probably the direction that they went, digging, and then up and over and into here, and this is the spoiler area right here. So down here is the area where the adamantine spire was, and they've done a pretty good job digging and patching and keeping things clean, all the way down to where the majority of your raw adamantine lives, and then I guess down here or maybe the layer below is probably where you'd break into the underworld if you were to keep digging. But, which actually leads me to be very tempted to just go, and dig right through that. I mean, it's probably right there, right? Right? Regardless, Klokwekz, thank you very much for sending in this fortress for me to have a look at. It's a very unique layout, and I do have to say that, like, I love a good fortress with an old fortress in it, and this very much feels like an old fortress here. So I love a fortress with an old fort that's been since abandoned for a new fort, and this is a very interesting and unique layout. Also, it runs phenomenally. Like, I gotta say, shout outs. You know, even for 125 dwarves, most of my 125 dwarf forts generally run at like 50 frames. This thing runs extremely well, so that is really cool to see. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching this video. If you would like to see more videos like this, check out this YouTube channel. There's a huge playlist of these community forts now. And if you want to watch Dwarf Fortress, well, you're in the right place. I got more Dwarf Fortress than you could reasonably watch in a lifetime. If you'd like to support me and the stuff I do directly, check out the Patreon or jump over to my Twitch streams. And I hope to see you in the next one.